Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I had a subscriber say, hey, do another one of those analysis, man. You know, it's cool when you do these. So I'm going to do one, and this is Luther Vandross. There's some people that unfortunately has passed on that you just, for some reason, think they still here. It's like it hasn't kicked in yet as far as the reality that they're no longer with us. And Luther Vandross is one of those. For some reason, I still feel he's alive. And I'm like, I'm waiting for another great album, you know, because Luther crank out great stuff. But unfortunately, Luther passed a few years ago, you know. And again, just kind of hard to believe that he's no longer with us. And what's so interesting about Luther Vandross is, I mean, of course, he has just a beautiful voice. He was, you know, one of the all-time R&B crooners of all time. So as I got older and I became a better musician, able to read better, know a little theory or no theory better, you tend to appreciate artists like Luther Vandross that much more. I mean, he was already totally appreciated anyway, but you know, as I became again a more seasoned musician myself, and then I go back to revisit some of these great songs, and now I can read the sheet music. It's just incredible what Luther Vandross did, because what's so amazing about Luther Vandross to me, and Anita Baker, she falls in this category, they wrote most of that stuff. I mean, they wrote most of their songs. I thought that Anita Baker had just had great writers. She was one of them, you know, and a lot of times she was the writer. And with Luther Vandross stuff, the majority of the stuff that he wrote, well, let me just say this. All the albums that I have of Luther Vandross, and I look at the credits, he wrote everything he sang. And some of them were co-written with other people, but for the most part, he had his name on that composition. And again, what's so amazing to me about Luther Vandross is his arrangements. I mean, if you just sit and listen and study his stuff, because, you know, Quincy Jones is known for lavish, great arrangements. And I think that Luther Vandross was just as good to me. I mean, and again, when you sit down and just listen to what all the instruments are doing, and, you know, again, he wrote all that stuff. And I was like, whoa. And also what's so great about Luther Vandross is, I think Luther Vandross could have been extremely wealthy if he just sat back and wrote and produced for other people. You know, if he would have just done that alone, he was a force to reckon with. But, you know, of course, he's one of the greatest R&B crooners of all time. You know, and it's just so unfortunate that he left us too soon. I mean, Luther should be still here singing, you know. And the person that I thought was going to take on the torch was Keith Washington. He had a song off the first album called Kissing You. He sounded like Luther Vandross. And I said to myself, I said, he's going to be the next Luther Vandross, you know, when Luther decides to retire. And I made that, you know, prediction long before Luther got sick. You know, so when Luther got sick and left us much earlier than he should have left us, I was like, Keith Washington should have been a shoo-in. But what happened to Keith Washington was this. The first album was a masterpiece. The second album, for some stupid reason, the people that was in charge of his career decided they wanted to take his career in a different direction, did a whole 360 makeover on him, repackaged him, and tried to market him to younger people. I'm just like, leave him alone. He's fine where he's at. And trust me, the people that listen to him is going to support his records until he retire. But for some reason, they changed his MO, changed his dress code, changed the writers. Again, the material from the second album on down was no comparison to the first album, because the first album was like a masterpiece, you know. And another one, they did the same thing to her career, and it tanked Adina Howard. Adina Howard was like the female R. Kelly. And then they decided to push the envelope on the second album. She lost a little weight, and she didn't need to lose any weight because she was not a heavy-set woman. She was beautiful and shapely. Then they had on the album cover, naked with a cobra wrapped around her. I'm like, come on now. The woman can sing. Let's focus on her singing ability instead of you playing with the sexual aspect. That's fine, but she didn't need that. She didn't need to go that route, because there's some people that can't sing. It's like, okay, we got to take them that route. You know, we got to push records, sell records. But she, just like Keith Washington, they should have just left him alone. But for some reason, they decided to change their image, and it killed their career. Because Keith Washington should be right now cranking out songs in a style like Luther, like he was, selling out large arenas like Luther was, but instead, where is he? You know? I mean, there's some people that I look at, and it's just my opinion. I'm like, I would have marketed them totally different. Because I remember a scene from, and sorry for digressing, a scene from that Temptation song when Berry Gordy, or the character played Berry Gordy, said, because they was like, he said, I don't want you just to be the greatest band in the country. I want you to be the greatest band in the world. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, have a bigger projection or foresight instead of, I'm just thinking here. I'm like, I'm thinking here, you know. And again, with Keith Washington, you know, they could have done that to him, but instead they changed his image, and it killed his career. And same thing with Adina Howard, it killed her career. Because again, Keith Washington should be in Luther's shoes right now, cranking out love ballads, you know, cranking out love ballads to this day. But I'm going to sign off because there was something else I was going to mention, but now I can't remember. But again, with the Luther Vandross, just incredible talent, you know, because again, when we think of Luther, we think of that soft, silky voice. But when I think of Luther, I think of that on top of the great songwriting that he was capable of doing and the great arrangements. Because I mean, when you guys get a chance, just grab any Luther Vandross song. Now I would say the last 3 albums, they were good, but they were kind of more like commercialized. You know, I'm trying to get in on what's happening right now. But, you know, anything from the last 3 on back, any song, close your eyes, just pick one and just sit down and listen to the instrumentation. Listen to the arrangements. You know, it's just breathtaking, you know. So I'm going to sign off now. And I mean, to this day, I still miss Luther. I still feel he's here. You know, it's like it just still haven't hit me that this great musician, this phenomenal talent is no longer with us. You know, unfortunately, we're not going to get any more Luther Vandross products. You know, and it's sad. You know, it's really sad. Till next time, take care and thanks for watching.